Hey guys, you gotta stop glazing. Okay, you simply have to stop glazing. The thing about glazing is people don't understand, like they think it's all fun and games. Sometimes it's not fun and games, okay? And I'm gonna tell you why. Honestly, it kind of depends on who, but it also kind of doesn't, okay? But the problem is, say you go on here and you glaze, let me think of some movies. You glaze Shea Gilgis Alexander, okay? Shea Gilgis Alexander could have your girl. I'm not saying in a sense where it's like he literally could. I'm saying in theory, he could reach her. You know what I mean? They know how to do things like that. It's the same reason why celebrity crushes are actually like an issue if you think about it, okay? But the thing is, not everyone realizes this, okay? Man or woman. I remember one time I was talking to this girl and she said something about a celebrity crush, okay? I can't remember. It was like it was pure glaze. It wasn't something that was like outwardly disrespectful, but it was more so like just like gushing like a little bit. You know what I mean? It wasn't like, oh my gosh, he's so hot. Like I want to sleep with him. Like it was like, oh, like, like that kind of, like, there's like a difference. I wish I could remember exactly what it was, but I remember it was weird enough for me to point out like, yo, like, that's a bit weird. Like, I don't think you should do that. And she was like, what? It's just a celebrity. At that moment, it made me realize I can never mess with a woman who has not, at the very least, been in some form of contact with celebrities. Like the fact that in her mind, that like the person she glazed was like just a celebrity, like not like not a real person in her mind, it's an issue. Especially if you're an attractive woman, okay? Because the thing is, again, we know rappers, athletes, when I tell you, if an attractive woman has over 5,000, over 10,000 IG followers, they can find her. I promise you, they've already found her probably. Now, whether or not she entertains them is up to her, okay? But what I'm saying is it's more likely that they're going to want to entertain these situations when all of a sudden out of the blue, oh my gosh, this person, this celebrity, they just texted me, oh, Playboy Cardi, like what? I never thought I would ever get messaged by Playboy Cardi, and here I am. You're just putting yourself in a bad position if your girl or guy, my hair looks terrible, by the way, like I know, just completely ignore it though. But if your girl or guy can completely like fangirl or fanboy out over like a simple DM, a simple meeting somebody, like that, it just doesn't look good for the solidness. Man, I'm losing my touch. The solidness of the relationship. It's like the yaps, like they're still there, but it's like I hadn't yapped for a bit. So it's like now the yaps, they got to warm up again. I got to get back to peak yapping. But anyways, okay, most people understand. It's like, I think nowadays people understand, especially with social media, how easy it is to access people, that like celebrity crushes, like that's like a weird thing. Okay. But the thing is, imagine your ex, your current, your next gets involved with your celebrity like crush, you know what I mean? And now you're glazing someone, that doesn't always mean like you want them. I don't mean it in that sense. But I mean, say again, you're glazing Shea Gilgis Alexander. Next thing you know, Shea Gilgis Alexander DMs your girl. What are you gonna do? Like you can't play it off. Like I don't know if you've seen those TikToks, but there's sometimes they're like, oh yeah, like we broke up, and I texted his like favorite rapper, his favorite rapper texted me, blah 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 blah. You can't let her know that, you know what I mean? Like you can't give her that information. Because I'm telling you, like from my experience, it's gotten to the point where, in general, like someone I'm talking to having been with a celebrity, or like we stop talking and they get with a celebrity, like that's just like a thing, okay? And the thing is, mind you, this is how I found out like how easy it was, okay? Like there's this girl, she barely had any sort of following on IG. I don't think she had any other sort of accounts or anything. One day she just like started tweaking and aired out everyone who was in her DMs, everyone who was talking to her. Mind you, at the time I was one of them, all right? But then a bunch of celebrities, rappers, bro, when I tell, okay, I'm not, okay, he's passed, and I'm not telling you like who I'm talking about, so I don't think this is bad. But when I tell you the amount of women that I've talked to where King Von was in their DMs before he passed, I swear, like it's like I'm like, bro, how did this guy have the time? But the even crazier thing, and look, this is not me like airing out dirty laundry. I'm just saying, apparently King Von, very nice man, very very respectful to these women. So like, good for him. Isn't that crazy to think about? Like him of all people, like they're all like, oh man, he's just the sweetest guy. But anyways, all the DMs getting aired out right now. At the time, I think I'm probably like 19, 18 maybe, and basically, I don't know. I feel like my mind could have went one to two ways. It could have been like, oh my gosh, this girl I'm talking to, she's talking to these celebrities. Oh no. But then it was like me realizing like, oh, I'm like amongst the ranks. You know what I mean? Like I'm I'm on the same level. You know what I mean? Just romantically. Obviously, at that point, I hadn't even had TikTok. So like, obviously, more money, more status. But I'm like, as far as like the fact that like they had this money and status, and I'm still appealing to her the same way, like we're still having like these like tight conversations, like that's tight. And luckily me and her hadn't really talked about pop culture. And here's the thing, I feel like most women who like deal with a lot of people like that avoid talking about pop culture because they don't want things like this to happen. But I could see some being like very evil and kind of like baiting you into saying certain things. Like one time I was talking to this girl and we were talking about like this very big like music artist, right? And like she was kind of trying to like steer the conversation like about him. And I was like, oh yeah, like I think his music's good. Like, you know, some people like think he's like the best, some people think he's the worst. Like I think he makes like good music. I think it's solid. And then like it got to a point in the conversation, she's like, oh yeah, me and him have actually like done stuff before. And I'm like, oh okay. But the thing is, imagine if I would have glazed. Like, imagine if that was like one of my like favorite rappers or favorite singers or whatever, and I started glazing, and then she said that. How do you socially recover from that? And again, those are the kinds of situations where it's like, oh my gosh, like when if something happens between us, she could always say, oh, like I messed with his favorite rapper. So I'm telling you this right now, bro. Like, if you're really into an artist, keep it low key. Keep it low key as possible, or you have to be very prepared for it to backfire. Now, personally, it's never happened to me yet, but the thing is, this kind of just on the side, sometimes I glaze because I think it's like really funny. You know what I mean? Like I glaze like certain like there'll be like videos I have. Like I'm gonna make a video where I'm like glazing like JPEG Mafia, right? And I know people keep asking for it. I promise you it's gonna happen. But it's like in doing something like that, I know like anybody I used to talk to could go smash like JPEG Mafia and then kind of like try to like rub it in my face. So it's like emotionally, you got to be prepared for that. It's like, okay, yeah, that's my favorite rapper. If it happened, it happened. You know, power to both of you. But also, I have the backing of like, this is my content. You know what I mean? This is how I make the bread. This is how I make the bucks. But what I'm talking about is in the day to day. Like like if me and you have an in-person conversation, you most likely won't see me glazing anybody unless it's LeBron, okay? But LeBron's just a different beast. Bro has literally the most points ever. I'm not gonna, I simply couldn't not glaze him. But an example I'm giving you is, I remember I got like tons of stories like this. Basically, this one girl one time, like she called me out of the blue, okay? Like me and her were like talking, but like super casual, right? Like nowhere near anything like monogamous. And she called me and like we were like talking, right? And like it was kind of random conversation just for a couple minutes. I'm like, okay, like what? Like it's kind of weird, but like I'm okay. Like obviously it wasn't like too weird. But anyways, eventually she hung up, and then she texted me later that she was with some guy, and one of my videos came up on his For You page, and he was like, oh, I love this guy, he's so funny, blah blah blah. And she was like, oh yeah, like I know him personally. And he was like, no, you don't. Like he didn't believe her. So then she called me to like prove that like she knew me and whatnot. And he was like apparently like, oh, like he was freaking out when it was happening. I'm telling you right now, if I was that guy and some girl that I was trying to get with had very clearly gotten with this person that I'm actively glazing, I might lose it. I might lose it. Because again, you gotta remember, he had nothing to gain from that. He was just glazing for the love of the game, which by the way, if bro's watching this, I appreciate him. But like, you know what I mean though? Also, there's this other guy where basically, I'm trying to remember the story. He was telling some girl, I don't know how he came up. I think he sent her one of my TikToks. For one, why there are some TikToks where it's like, bro, I don't know which one it was, but some TikTok videos I make, they're not meant to be sent to someone you're trying to woo. But anyways, old girl, after he sent the TikTok, she was like, oh, he's hot. Now here's the thing. Again, that goes with the celebrity crush thing. Not that I'm some A-lister, but my point is like, oh, I'm this person on the internet that has kind of like a following. I'm still a very real person. Like I still have very real access to your girl if it came down to it. I could get in the DM request. You're like, at the time, like that's what I'm talking about. So basically, she said that, and then he was like, oh, well, he would never give you the time of day, blah, blah, blah. He's just trying to neg her, like, oh, yeah, he would never get with you, blah, 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 blah. Then she ended up thirst commenting. And then, you know, we kind of like started like actually talking after that. So again, now imagine being that guy. Like imagine straight up like, imagine like after like glazing, you know what I mean? You send her to TikTok. Yeah, he would never give you a chance. And then I end up giving her a chance. That's why, here's the thing. If you're dealing with an attractive person, you should absolutely be worried. But like, even if you think you're dealing with someone who like, for whatever reason, you don't think is like a bombshell, like the most attractive person ever, if they're like, if they're conventionally attractive enough, bro, be careful. Be careful. Because, bro, you have seen these NBA players and like who it comes out that like they sleep with. Not even lookers half the time. It's literally just like putting themselves in the right spots. Like women who put themselves in the right spots can sleep with almost anybody. And my thing is, I simply don't think you want to be in those shoes. Okay, I got one more story for you. Okay, this is a little one. This guy, like he used to DM me, like asking like how he could get like me. You know what I mean? Like he was like, oh man, like I want to be like you, like ah la la. Like some people. Okay, here's the thing. Some people will comment stuff like, oh, like who actually comes to you for advice? Oh, like who actually like says these things to you, yada yada yada. I'm telling you, my DM requests, they're on that type of timing. Okay, some of them aren't on that type of timing. Okay, obviously not all my followers are on that. But anyway, this dude's like, oh, how can I get like you? How can I get like you? And I kind of just like, because I don't know what to tell people. Like, and like I said that before, like I don't know if what I am is attainable for like the average person. So I kind of just ignored it. And then I was talking to this girl, and she was like showing me her exes. Bro was one of the exes, and I'm like, I didn't have the heart to tell her in the moment, but low-key, I should have told her. I should have told her just off like vibes. Like I should have told her so she knew that like I was up here, okay? But the thing is, imagine I did tell her, and imagine you were that guy, okay? And it's like I knew like he was glazing me, and now she knows, or she would have known like that he was like glazing me. Like, do you see how the glazing thing becomes an issue when it's like actual like people that can be in the world? Like, yes, in theory, LeBron could like negotiate his way into like someone's like DMs and like, you know, like maybe. But for one, I'm hoping LeBron's a loyal man so I can stand him like extra hard. But also, bro's kind of like 40. So hopefully he wouldn't be messing with women our age. Like, you see how that's a bit different? Like, obviously, glazing in general is dangerous because he's still, like I said, he's still like, if he wanted to like DM somebody, he could DM them. Okay. But my point is, there's dangers to glazing. It's even more, especially if you're like gonna glaze like an underground rapper. Oh, bro, come on. Like, simply don't let it happen. And even like glazing when it comes to like certain like women will like glaze like men as far as like being in a relationship. You know what I mean? Like, they'll be like, oh, like this guy, I bet he treats her so well, yada yada yada, just for whatever reason. And a lot of those men, some of those men aren't loyal. Look, I'm not gonna say too much, but I'm just gonna say there's certain situations where people are being glazed, and I'm like, bro, if they knew, like, if they knew what this man got down to, yeah, you gotta understand, you don't know these people in real life, okay? So again, like, glazing in any aspect, like, yeah, you can like glaze thinking someone's cool, but again, glazing someone in a relationship, and again, think about glazing like even glazing your girl can be dangerous. Okay, I've seen it happen. We've all seen it happen, probably. Like, I know this video's kind of scattered and all over the place, but like, do you get my point? Like, do you see how it's like you kind of got to be careful? Now, mind you, this is not me asking you guys to stop glazing me. I know I just told you like some cautionary tales. Maintain the glaze, all right? But like, other than me, right? Watch out for those dudes. And again, I don't know who has to prove it to you, but just remember, anybody in theory in the day and age of social media, anybody has access to anybody. So be very careful, you know, unless your significant other is like really ugly and you just know they won't have the opportunity, then fine, I just have at it, I guess. But if you're with someone that you deem to be attractive, remember, other people deem her to be attractive too, or deem him to be attractive too. So don't get too comfortable. Do not get too comfortable. And think about the optics, okay? Think about the optics of your glazing too. Like, my thing is, I glaze LeBron. If I found out LeBron saw like the TikToks I made where I like glazed him, I'm like, oh, he's the GOAT. I don't think I would mind. Okay. But I know there are some people for a fact where it's like you're glazing whomever, and if they saw the glaze, you would be a little bit embarrassed. And I think that's mostly the thing that you should avoid, okay? And again, like, be careful glazing in front of certain people that could like turn that glazing into something embarrassing. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I remember I was with this girl, bro. We were watching like this reality show, and she was like glazing this girl, and I was like, it really kind of upset me because I was like, bro, like, I think you're better than the girl that's like that you're like glazing. You know what I mean? Like, I think you look better. Like, I don't care for like whatever status like this woman has. And I feel like I don't want to say it's rare to see women glaze, because again, I see it all the time. But they'll be like, oh, like, you know, this model, which again, you have to be careful, because again, women, if you're watching this, models are also normal people too. So it's like, if you think your man is attractive, your man may have had access to that woman. Like, yes, the way like celebrity males and celebrity females like interact with things is a bit different, but like, again, don't get too comfortable. Oh yeah, but like, shorty, the thing is, again, glazing, I'm not gonna say it's unattractive, but like, it's not the most attractive thing. And sometimes it can be frustrating, like, as like the person watching the glaze happen. You know what I mean? Because glazing, in all essence, right, is like, when I glaze LeBron, I'm putting LeBron up here and I'm looking up at him like this. Okay, that's what's happening. So when you do that in front of like your partner, okay, your partner's gonna be like, oh man, like they're really like putting themselves down here when they could be up here. Okay, it's like you're selling yourself short, and a lot of people don't find that attractive. And in general, you shouldn't be selling yourself short regardless. Okay, like, moral of the story, like, don't sell yourself short. Okay, remember, these people are real people, and remember, these are people that could make your glazing just very embarrassing. So it's just like, I'm not gonna say overall like stop glazing, but just like keep it in mind. Do not put in the atmosphere. Like, and this is so serious. Like, I know like people think glazing is like a funny topic, but look at me now. Don't put in the atmosphere that anybody is better than you in any way. Like, truly. Like, do I think that there are men that exist? Have I seen men that exist in this world. Sorry, I'm out of breath. I just drank this whole thing of water in like 2 seconds. Are there men in the world that I think are more handsome than me? Absolutely. Absolutely. I've seen them. I have eyes. Would I ever tell you who these men are? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You could take the most attractive man that you've ever seen in your life, someone who's like objectively more handsome than me, in your opinion, right? And ask me like, oh, like how do you feel like your guys' looks compare? I'd be like, I'm sure we both have our moments. It'll be like pretty close. Like I'm not gonna I'm not gonna hand myself defeat, because if you put yourself below someone, you're going to be below them. You know what I mean? Like there can never be a situation, even when it doesn't come to like romantic situations. There would never be able to be a situation where if I'm like, oh, so and so's handsomer than me, that like I could just like take it back. You know what I mean? And take away the power. Like imagine if I was like Duke Dennis is handsomer than me. I genuinely don't think that's true, by the way. But anyway, if I'm like Dennis is handsomer than me, and I somehow meet Duke Dennis, and he like somehow like caught wind that I said that, like you know how weird the vibes are gonna be. Like bro, like this dude doesn't believe in himself. This dude's out here saying like I'm more handsome than him. Like in that situation, it will take so much more for me to like claw back. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my god, I feel like I'm really like cooking. I feel like this is like a very good like message. But you know what I mean? Like, don't put yourself in a situation where socially you're gonna have to claw back from the top. Okay, just put yourself on top. Now, not mind you, that's not me like giving you like saying like, oh, like be arrogant, just say random stuff. Like I'm not gonna get on here being like, oh, I'm more attractive than this person, this person, this person, this person, just like being like a jerk about it. But the thing is, don't go out of your way to put yourself below people. You know what I mean? Like don't go out of your way to be like, oh, this person's better looking than me. Oh, this person's better than me in this way. Especially when it's things that like don't really change. You know what I mean? Like looks. Right, like, cause I remember when I used to play football, there was this one dude, and maybe this is part of the message, but there was this one dude where he was like better than me at football. And he was on the team. I was like, man, like he's better than me. And like people got mad that I said that. And I was like, no, like I'm gonna work to the point where like I'm better than him. But like right now he's better than me. But that guy did indeed stay better than me the entire time. So maybe saying that was a problem. But you know what I mean? It's like you can feel those things, but maybe just keep them inside, because you saying someone's better than you in any way doesn't do you any sort of justice. Okay. Now mind you, again, it's super funny, like on the internet. So it's like if you're making like jokes, like for the giggles of it, like yeah, completely fine. But it's like if I'm like outside of content telling people that like LeBron will like there'll never be a man as great as him. I could only hope to be 1/10 of the man LeBron is. Like if I'm saying that like just genuinely, if I say that to LeBron's face, then I'm kind of tweaking a bit. Okay, it gets to the point where it's like it's not funny, and it's kind of just you downing yourself. And it's like I'm talking and I'm really hoping what I'm saying is like getting in your brain right now. Okay, but I'm about to wrap this up, and I know did I miss yesterday? Yeah, my bad. I've had a lot of stuff going on. I might batch record right now. The plan right now is I want to react to some Diddy music videos and see if he was like good. Like see if like Diddy had aura. And yeah, and okay, again, the problem is I have so many ideas, but the ideas are for longer videos, and for longer videos I feel so much more comfortable starting them the night before. Like this is like today. You know what I mean? Like I'm recording this like this morning, so yeah, I gotta work on. I gotta work on my time management with that. State of affairs, I kind of just gave them to you. I don't know. I need more. Like I had a thing in my notes app of topics, and I can't find the thing. So anyway, I think I gotta get more chronically online and see what people are talking about to get more topics. But again, I still have like off the top of my head, I have like 5, 6 video ideas. But like again, like they're longer. Like I need more like short video ideas so I can whip out a few and then have time to record the longer ones. But yeah, I'll figure it out either way. But thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Everything I have to say. I'm so sorry, and I love you platonically. Okay, have a good day, night, evening, morning.